you don't have any robots from iRobot. We don't have to Will Smith and fight anything. Like,
Not yet. What
how
about
can
the
your
Tesla
blender
bots?
try to Tesla bots?
Yeah, have you not seen those?
No, I haven't.
Dude, I gotta show you
Jamie,
this.
pull it up.
Yeah.
Jesus, why is it black on top and then like white on the bottom? It's a little bit racist.
There's been some Asian hate.
It comes in waves.
Comes in waves.
Yeah,
Right now we're hating the Jews.
Yeah, the blame's off
Sponsored by
us.
Kanye. He's back on Twitter, and his
yeah.
first tweet was "Shalom." This world is a simulation. We're in a
Oh,
VR.
that's
This is a
so
VR experiment.
funny.
It has to be.
I saw Dave Attell. I just like turned and then he just smiled at me. It's the closest I'll ever get to a smile from Santa Claus.
He could sense you were a comic. Do you feel like you can kind of tell when somebody's like on the comic spectrum? Is there a comic spectrum? Welcome everyone to the OG Pod. Today I have my friend from comedy, Chris Tan, for the second time on the podcast.
I just got back from New York doing some shows out there. That was a lot of fun.
You said you were going to move out there, actually.
I thought about it. I maybe I'll postpone that for like a year or two, but yeah, I'm still trying to navigate and then find out what I want to do. But New York definitely at some point. Yeah, I would say in the near future, like 2-ish years.
I think I was planning to move to Salt Lake, and you were planning to move to New York, and now we're both staying in Austin.
Yeah. Shit. Yeah.
New York would be such a cool city to live in, especially for like the summer.
No, you don't want to be in there in the summer.
Really?
Man. It's so humid.
Oh,
it's
is
so
it?
humid. You sweat more during a New York summer than a Texas summer.
Austin is really humid.
Go to the East Coast. You're gonna feel it.
What's the best season though? Winter seems like it'd be brutal.
Fall.
and
Usually around
spring.
this time when I was there, it was like getting cold, but like a dry cold. It wasn't that bad. It was like 60 degrees. This is what they want to hear on the podcast. What's the weather
Yeah,
like
what's
in
the weather
another
like?
city?
What are some of the cool clubs out there that you've been to? The only ones I've heard of are like, you know, like Seinfeld came up at Catch a Rising Star,
That's
and
dead.
obviously the Cellar always is going to have great comics there.
Yeah, speaking of the Comedy Cellar and great comics, I saw Dave Attell there, and I just came out of like a restaurant. I didn't try to like fan over him. I just like turned and then he happened to be there and then he just smiled at me. It was like so warm. It's the closest I'll ever get to a smile from Santa Claus.
He could sense you were a comic.
Yeah, he probably
could feel it.
Probably could.
Do you feel like you can kind of tell when somebody's like on the comic spectrum? Is there a comic spectrum?
I love how you just said spectrum.
Yeah.
I think so, but I feel like for me personally, it's harder to tell with me because I'm Asian. Like people don't associate those two together.
Yeah.
But I guess at a comedy club or at a mic, you can tell like pretty instantly.
Are you saying Asians can't be funny?
No, I'm saying they don't like public speaking.
Oh, okay. There's been some Asian hate. Like I guess that all died down. What was that, like a year ago, maybe?
It comes in waves.
It comes in waves.
Yeah.
Right now we're hating the Jews.
Yeah, the blame's off us.
Sponsored by Kanye.
Yeah.
Although he's back on Twitter. I don't know if you saw Elon Musk like unbanned him or whatever. And his first tweet was "Shalom." I'm just like, this world is a simulation. We're in a VR. This is a VR experiment. It has to be.
So funny, dude.
Yeah, like we have the world's richest man just like buying companies. What'd you think of that? Do you use Twitter at all, or
No, I don't. I know that you can post like dick pics on there now. Yeah, that's interesting.
I think you've always been able to post dick pics, but you couldn't.
Really?
Yeah, you know, dead name somebody, but you could post a dick pic. So they had crazy
I'll
rules.
dead name my 7th grade teacher, science teacher.
Well, let's hear it. What's his name? You remember it?
Oh, it's a Miss McCain, bitch.
Miss McCain. Bitch.
Yeah.
Who was mine? I can't remember any early teachers.
She's
Oh, Mr. Art Vidro. Mr. Vidro was my art teacher.
Vidro.
Yeah, I remember
Sounds like
him.
a cruel Italian man.
I think I was in 5th grade.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, something like that. It's like teachers probably spend so much time and effort and then they're just forgotten about. But sometimes they influence you. You know, sometimes they stick with you.
You ever have a teacher like you hate so much that you hate the subject by association? I hated
Probably.
art for about 8 years.
I think I did actually history.
Yeah?
Yeah, because
History sucks already. Yeah.
Well, because they would always be like, "What date did this happen?" It's like, who gives a shit what date? It was in the past. Like, just give me the lesson, and I want the story. Like, that's what we think that's interesting or whatever. But so you don't. What's your social media strategy? This is something I've been thinking a lot about lately.
A strategy.
Comedy.
I tried to hitch on the Asian wave.
There you go.
It helped a little bit for like 4 months. But right now, just try to get as funny as possible, and then like have the balls to muster up the courage to edit a bunch of clips.
Yes,
I'm just so lazy technically. Like I can make a clip, but it takes like 4 hours, and I'm like really particular about it. I feel like most people are,
I am
and
as
so
well.
it just crushes your ego.
Yeah, dude, editing is no fun, but in a way, there's no way to even hire somebody to do it. I feel like you have to pay them like 50, 70 grand a year
Hmm.
or nothing. Like they either have to be like really good and really worth it, or you have to do it yourself. Otherwise, I've tried hiring editors for like 20 bucks an hour, and I just can do like it
It's gonna
just,
be dog shit.
yeah, it doesn't even get any views. It doesn't get engagement. There's no reason to do it. Like the stuff I make is better than I can
Plus, you
hire out
care
for.
about it the most too.
Yep.
So like you'll go like an extra hour and a half just to like make one small detail.
Yep.
You know?
Yep. But I think social media is like hand in hand with comedy. Obviously, it always has been. But
Yes.
like now it just, I don't know. I kind of like see it as it's a reverse thing. Like a lot of people start doing stand ups when they want to get into comedy. But I'm almost like you should almost start building out your social media and then get into comedy.
Yeah, cause I think it's a respect thing too. If
Yes.
people see that you have like 2,000 followers and you're like a year into comedy, they're like, "Oh, this guy was somebody
Right.
before."
Right.
Yeah, it's kind of a game that you have to play. It's
It
kind of like a
is.
given. Like I think a lot of comics have Instagram because they're comics, and that's how you get things done.
That's the only reason I have social media is to get stage time. Although now that I'm doing YouTube, I have really
Yeah,
enjoyed it.
yeah,
And I'm pretty excited about it.
yeah.
Yeah. You know, Mr. B said on Twitter the other day, I saw him replying to Elon Musk that some creators' real CPM, cost per mile, basically how much they can monetize their views, is
Uh-huh.
like above 20. And these guys are making million view videos all the time. So,
Mhm.
like, imagine, you know who Philip DeFranco is?
No,
He's like
another
a
YouTuber.
he's a YouTuber, but he has like a news show that I'm kind of like modeling after a little bit with my hot take show.
Hmm.
And he pulls in, I think he does maybe 3 to 5 videos a week. Each one of them is like 700K, 1.5 million. Like a million, that's 20 grand.
Yeah.
So that guy is like making like 100 grand a week. I mean, not if he was at the high end of the R CPM or
Let's say
whatever.
conservatively like 80 grand.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
But
wild.
but
Dude.
even that, like, is he gonna stop doing that, or is he just gonna keep building on that for the next 10 years? Oh
Mhm.
yeah, he's gonna keep building on it for the next 10 years.
Mhm.
So if he does that, is he gonna be making like 250,000 a week? Like, where does it?
Speaking of Mr. Beast, he said within the next like 2 or 3 years, you should get your first YouTube billionaire.
Yes. Did I
Yeah.
say that? I agree with that.
I think he said that. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I
Hmm.
agree with that totally. I mean, so the thing that makes YouTube so interesting to me is it's the only content platform that does revenue sharing as a percentage. So all the others do like a fixed pool.
Whoa.
Yeah, so you get like 10 million bucks and that's distributed across the creators. That's not how YouTube does it. They give 55% of the ad revenue to the creator.
That's
The
really
majority.
cool.
It's like symbolic. It's like symbolic. The majority of the money that YouTube makes goes to the person who created the content.
Hmm. It's very cool that it's still like very corporate too, and they still give that much power to the YouTubers. Like, wow, who owns it? Facebook or Google?
Google, yeah.
Google.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I'm like obsessed with YouTube right now. The company, the product, where it's going, how it
Mhm.
got here. I would love to see more of their stats on like daily active users, and because they have like 2 billion people on the platform.
Yeah.
Well, that's like almost, what is that? Is that 1 in 4? How many do we even have?
One in
8 billion?
four. Yeah, one in
Like that's
four.
crazy.
I think we just hit like 8 billion
Okay, well
or
then that's
7
everyone
billion.
on the internet because like 3
Yeah.
of them don't even have the internet. 3 billion.
No, it's in Africa, man. And like the
Yeah.
little boonies, they don't have it, but a lot of African places, like people in Kenya, have like iPhone like 5s.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. Pretty good.
It is pretty good. Especially if you make content because, you know,
There's one guy, Shane Gill. So I was posting him on like his Instagram. I think it's like some maybe like Tibetan or Burmese man who's like he looks a little bit janky. He's like in the woods, and he's just like he has like 3 teeth, and he just like does cameos for people, and the on like a nice iPhone. and he's just raking in the bucks.
What's his views?
Like 4 million.
4 million. So he's getting $100,000 a video.
No, I don't know if he does YouTube, but he does like Instagram.
Okay.
So I don't know if he's able to monetize that, but like he's just you just give a camera and internet service to like somebody in like a developing country, and they can do some cool shit.
They can do some cool shit, but it's just so cool because everything seems to be converging in the favor of content creators and especially stand-up comedians. Like,
it does not feel like it's converging for me, so I'm glad you feel that.
Okay,
yeah.
Well, I see it converging in the next couple of years. So like the converging is happening now, but the convergence I see is you have stand-up, which is like never been more popular, never been more people doing it, and that tailwind is going to create a lot more venues and opportunities and mics eventually. And that natural entertainment platform is like so good to bridge to content creation. Like I really think every single clip of you doing stand-up, like people don't want to burn a joke. You're not going to burn it. Like nobody's going to remember it. You know, throw all that stuff out and get your following going, get your audience going.
Yeah. As somebody who's like 3 years in barely, who gives a shit about not posting like a joke that you wrote? Like,
exactly, right. Nobody's, in
a year you probably won't be telling it.
100%, yeah. And then you get the credit for that joke, and in terms of like a long-term benefit to your channel, is compound interest. It's one of the 7 wonders of the world is compound interest. And I've always been a big fan of like investing in compound interest and all those things. And YouTube is like very much up that alley.
If I gave you like $10 million just to play with, what would you do?
Well, somebody already did that, and I nuked it in the stock market by over leveraging on derivatives that I didn't understand. But if that was to happen again, I would just buy high yield dividend funds and use that money to reinvest into crypto. And basically, if I had, I don't know, $5 million in cash right now, I'd buy JEPI. JEPI is JP Morgan's high income dividend yield.
Okay.
And it gets 8 to 12%, which is absurd. And it also has all this downside protection because they sell covered calls basically constantly. So you're never going to get much upside, but you'll never lose your money. And from that, you'll basically get 8 to 12%.
You said treasury
These
bonds?
are the hard lessons life has taught me.
Yeah, you're doing all right, even though
I'll be fine.
You're fine.
Yeah, I don't need money. But what I do enjoy is investing is like a hobby or whatever.
Because then you can almost make like a life of your own through the hobby, and then it becomes like almost autonomous after a while.
Well, I mean, I was always just in tech, so my background is computer science and product and program management in tech companies. I founded a startup in 2013. We raised $250,000 from Base VC. It was the first social network for cryptocurrency and traditional investors.
Dude, okay.
I was early Bitcoin, early Snap, early Tesla, all these different things. And so I think what I see coming on the horizon is like anytime something is going to get really popular, I go into it. The thing that nuked me recently was I had no idea how much the Federal Reserve set the entire tone of investing. Like the Federal Reserve,
you mean like
is the market maker.
Keeps climbing up?
Well, they're either doing one of two things. They're either adding money to the system, in which case it's risk on and let's fucking go, or they're taking money out of the system, in which case it's you better be safe and like really take your money out of the market basically, and just put it into like, you know, S&P 500 or whatever, or JEPI's, the JP Morgan high yield dividend fund.
Right.
And so I didn't know any of that. And so during this downturn, I got nuked during the invasion of Ukraine because my margin requirements went, they 10x'd overnight, like in one day. Anyway, it's a sad story.
Wow, okay.
And so these are all.
I love how you're like, my life just ended during the Ukraine.
It basically did. I mean, I might as well have gotten nuked, like personally,
God,
during that, because this is like, I have a case against Robinhood, or a thing against Robinhood right now, because I'm like, they give you zero tools to help you understand your risk and your exposure. In fact, almost everything they do is encouraging you to add risk. They never encourage you to take risk off the table. And they actually make it opaque how much risk you even have. I don't think any of that is intentional. but their
Oh, it
branding
has to
is
be intentional. Are you kidding me? The whole model is just to be like, I guess like a trading platform for the average Joe.
yeah, but
So
like that's how they advertise themselves is like you don't have to have some crazy sophisticated knowledge. If you just have an idea of like what companies are going to be successful in the future, you can be successful here.
mhm.
But then they give guns to toddlers, not even guns, they give nukes to toddlers, and they don't even tell them that they're nukes. And so I think I got a little case against him, but
Okay.
I'm not too focused on that. Mostly I just want to get really good at comedy, really good at YouTube, really good at
Okay,
podcasting.
good. You completely turned around. You're like, I want to be super rich, and then you're like, let's just do comedy. Yeah, forget about that. Forget about the
Yeah.
money. Yeah,
Yeah.
forget
Well,
about
because all that is like a natural product of being successful in other ways.
it. Mhm.
Like if you're just focusing on how to make money, you're never going to make money. If you're focused on how to be a really good professional in your field, you're
Mhm.
just naturally going to make a tremendous amount of money in my
Yeah.
experience or my feeling.
Oh man, I was on the pursuit of the American dream, just making a shit ton of money, and that'll fuck you up pretty
Yeah, you
bad.
were in finance or something
I was in
before? Or,
finance for
yeah.
like a good year.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
fucked me up. I
And
was just
then
like,
a therapist talked to you to do
yeah,
comedy.
yeah.
Yeah. And uh and now you're 3 years in. And so what are your comedic goals?
My
Like,
comedic goals just to
yeah.
get super funny, then Comedy Central, Tonight Show, just a couple
Holy
things
shit.
under the belt, and then just
That's like those would be pretty epic
yeah, it's something to look
to
forward to.
strive for, yeah.
Yeah, because you got a lot of downtime in comedy, like just waiting around for a show or like an open mic. You think a lot when you have to wait 4 hours to go up,
Yes.
so you don't want to waste that time.
Yeah. So how do you think that can be avoided, wasting that time? Do
Um,
you use it to write or
right, shoot the shit with the right people. Just like it feels like cramming, but like you get in that right mindset when you're just waiting around to go up until your head's like going like maybe like 100 miles an hour, so it's easier to write stuff.
that's true. You do get amped up.
Hmm.
But it is such a hard thing. I feel like here's my luck. If I sign up for a bucket mic and I wait the entire mic all night, there's no chance I'll get pulled. Zero chance.
Ooh.
But if I sign up for that bucket mic and then I leave, I'll be called the next person.
Yeah.
That's how it works for me.
So sign up, leave, and then
And then come back.
5
Yes.
minutes later.
That's how you do it. Pretend to leave. Boom. Okay,
Yeah.
that's a good
Yeah.
idea. But I don't know how much like those. Do you think performing in front of other comics is like necessary, or do you think you have to perform in front of people?
Yeah, it's a mix.
Yeah.
That's why I kind of like New
Well,
York.
yeah.
Because like starting out over there, like starting out like since day one, you just like perform exclusively in front of comics. So you build up like this thick skin, and then you learn how to riff. Like comics don't like to think you're telling them a joke. It has to feel natural, and that aligns with like real audience members too. Like they like to hear a joke, but like shit, if a joke sounds like it's like casual, like they're like,
Mhm.
wow, that's like magic.
Better. Right.
So I think it's good to like perform in front of comics, like honestly, like 60% of the time, because you build a strong muscle.
And I like what you said last time. You got to be a whore about it. You got to be a whore about it. Perform in front of two people.
I've
Like,
had a
hell yeah.
shift in perspective since then. My
Have
dad
you?
was
Okay.
like, my dad, it's like still healthy in my head. Like, yeah, just get up. But like, my dad was like, if you want to do bigger shows, you can't do the small shit because then people look at you different.
That's
You
true,
gotta
too.
you gotta go quality over quantity sometimes. And I'm like, that's fucking true.
Sometimes if you are like hanging out at sometimes yeah, like people's perceptions of you matter a lot. And you're anyway, there's something to that.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like
I'm not sure exactly what to do about that because like let's say you're doing really high in one domain but you want to enter a new domain.
Mhm.
Doesn't matter how high you were in that other domain. In the new domain you're just a beginner.
right.
So like,
Right.
you know, if somebody if Elon Musk wanted to start Standup, obviously
He'd
he
do
would
all
have no
right.
problem.
He'd do all
Yeah.
right. He could sell out theaters for like a month.
He could because people would want
They want to
to
see
do
what
him
he's got to
favors
say.
basically. They'd want to do him favors so that they get in his good graces. But it's more like I don't know, if like some random guy, so like my old boss from Snap, Jerry Hunter, if he wanted to do
Yeah, call him out.
Yeah,
call
let's
him
call him
out.
out. He's a great
Where did
guy.
he touch you?
No, Jerry's a great guy. He's a great leader. And he's great for Snap. And so, but if he wanted to do that, if he wanted to change industries, he's like at the top of tech. Like he worked for Jeff Bezos and he's like the CTO of Snap now or something, COO, something, C level. And but it doesn't even matter because he would be coming in as a beginner. And so, yes, like you would naturally have your perception of you.
It's interesting to hear
down.
you say that because I feel like when you're at the top of like Snap or something, you know how to like not finagle through the system, but you know like what you need to do to like get to your goal.
Yeah.
And so that I guess the networking skill like translates to that new industry. Like
I think actually that's true.
Yeah, like you'll see somebody who's like maybe 35, 40 starting out comedy a little bit later.
Yeah.
And then they just know how to like not finagle, but like they're like, I got to talk to this guy, and then this is how right.
I mean, it's crazy. That's a big part of it, and it's a necessary part of it because this is something I talk about a lot. But like, there's just no organization around stand-up. There, you have to be hired by other comics.
Yeah,
which means that you got to be like, who do you hire for a job? You hire people who you like hanging out with. That's who you hire. And so not only do you have to be funny, you have to be affable. You have to have like all these extra kind of like networking things. Same as the job, not any different.
No, it's really not any different. Yeah, that's where I don't know how you feel about this, but like the networking part is like I struggle with it. I can shoot the shit, but like I just like want to be a whore and like go up, and like it's hard to do that and shoot the shit with people 4 hours a night.
Dude, I struggle with the networking part. I think it's a necessary thing. I've never been great at it. I just always like hanging out, like having conversations and just talking about, what we're doing right here. This is like my zone. This is the zone I like to be in.
Yeah.
But I've never been like, oh, that guy is like a level 5 comic and I want to be like a level 6 comic. So I'm going to be his friend. And then that way I'll do this, like
maybe I'll learn a new spell and write a great dick joke at level 7.
Yeah, right. And so it just seems like a lot of extra work on top of writing and performing.
It is a lot of extra work. You're very right.
And if you're trying to do like something like get a podcast going or like nobody's going to listen to anyone's podcast unless you make it candy. You have to make it cake, like
what do you mean by that?
Well, it has to be high quality and the audio has to be great and it has to be packaged well and you need a good thumbnail and a good summary. And
what I've learned like since going into comedy, like especially the entertainment world, if you make something just look good, that's 85% of the work.
Packaging
quality, obviously you need that too, but like it's just because comics want to be like around the winners, right, like the top dogs, whatever. They're like, oh shit, he's trending right now, let me talk to him. It's bullshit.
It's bullshit, but it's kind of not, because you need those people. Everyone needs to ride waves, and so like the waves are created by like the Dave Chappelle's and Joe Rogan's of the world, and those guys lift like the tier below them, and then that tier lifts the tier below them, and we're all just like riding those different waves in every industry. It's pretty interesting. So. Yeah, what are I think we were talking about some comedy goals. Like late night show, that kind of stuff.
I mainly care about that for like 2 reasons. One is just like if you get like that little blue check mark, like that just means like okay, he's good.
Yeah.
Or like it just like establishes a
credibility.
Baseline. Exactly, yeah. And then you have something to slap in the face to like all your family, like all your haters. Yeah. That's mainly it. It's out of spite. Not out of vanity. And then the other one is just like if
it feels better when it's out of spite.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it makes you work harder too.
Yeah,
you're like, it'll break my mother's heart. She sees me on Comedy Central.
That'll make it fair.
Yeah, but I just want that so that I can have the credit and then like go anywhere in the country or the world and be like, I've done this and this, and then they're like, can I just do 10 minutes? Like that's all I want.
How epic would that be to be able to like go to any club and just know they're going to give you 10 minutes?
Oh, then they won't give you 10 minutes just because you have Comedy Central, but like I just mean like shitty bar shows. I'm fine with. I'll do a bar show, man. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like, well, but even like more cooler clubs or whatever. Anyway,
that'd be cool. Yeah, I think.
Like, what if you had a bunch of comics get like a tour bus? This would be very possible, and you just did like a traveling road show.
A lot of people do that. Yeah.
Okay, is that something people do?
Yeah, they definitely do. What is it? Bert Kreischer's doing that basically right now.
Well, he's like a big. I mean, just like newer.
You mean like,
yeah, like people that are like a couple of years in.
I know a couple of people have done that before. Just like honestly,
Lucas
they
McCrary
rally.
Started. Where did he start?
Like Tennessee, like Memphis or Nashville.
And
but I know a lot of comics.
Austin, yeah.
They kind of use like their ethnicity as like a pool to where they'll have like a Middle Eastern comedy troupe or a duo or something like that, and then they'll tour based on that.
Something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it Mo Ammer? He opens up for Dave Chappelle. He went on the road with like other like Muslim comics or Arab comics, and shit, it was like a funny name. It was kind of like,
I saw somebody at the Creek. You probably know who he is. A couple nights ago.
I hate him.
Really? I thought he was so freaking
I
good.
don't know who you're talking about.
Oh, okay. I thought you were maybe at the show. I'll never be able to remember his name.
What did he look like?
He was like kind of, I think he had a shaved head and a beard. He looked like a terrorist, basically.
Oh, Marcus Olin.
Maybe. I think there was an M in
there. Yeah, he
sure.
works at Vulcan. He's very funny. I've had him on my show like 4 times. He's killed the hardest at my shows. Yeah, really funny guy.
Yeah, yeah. And so, yeah, you get like the bombers, you could call it. Get like the.
What do you mean the bombers?
Just playing on a theme of a bunch of Middle Eastern comics.
Oh,
you could call them like the bombers.
Yeah.
I don't know. Something. And then you like go and take that theme on the road.
Yeah, basically. I don't know how they market it specifically, but they just like go to a bunch of places where there's like people around like the same demographic as them. Yeah. And then they just fucking run town and just do a bunch of shows.
So my new plan with comedy, because I haven't done anything in months, is to take some of my new ideas and try to build 5 minutes, which has always been something that I've never even accomplished to begin with. But to resurrect some old material, mix it in with some new stuff, get 5 minutes going where I feel comfortable, and then I'll try to start shopping that around. But yeah, like you can't do everything in life, and so like you can't wait 4 hours for your 3 minutes and do a podcast and do YouTube show and all these other things.
You have to be very deliberate about it.
Yes.
I think.
Yeah. And so what I've thought of, another thing we talked about last time was doing your own show and the importance of that. And so if I had like 5 minutes of my own stuff, and then I went into a bar and I was like, every Tuesday I want to do a show for an hour and a half or whatever.
Yeah.
And then just start building that up from there.
Honestly, an open mic might be better for what you're looking for.
Or that's what I mean.
If it's just 5 minutes, yeah. And then it's like no risk. Yeah. No concern for like packing it out. And it's like the best practice you can get.
Yeah, I mean, I really want to perform in front of a person. I have not performed in front of a person once in Austin. I've had like 3 chances, and they all got rug pulled from me.
Oh, okay.
And it's just crazy to me. Like, it's been so long since I performed in front of a human being. It happened. It's happened twice. It happened once at Roma Room.
Hey, we're people too.
Yeah, no, the comics aren't people. They're not people. And so the open mic is like, I want to be able to. But that's actually what I feel like you could get. Some open mics are incredible. You got Kill Tony, incredible open mic. Wise Guys.
Good luck. You talk about 4 hours waiting. I've been waiting 9 months.
Yeah, it's never gonna happen. It's never gonna happen. But it's still a great format and a great show. And Wise Guys in Salt Lake City, can't recommend it high enough.
Okay. Caleb, I gotta say it's so interesting to hear you say that.
Really?
Because like in New York, people would always be saying the same thing. Like, I'm only performing in front of comics. And then I moved to Austin. And I was like, wow, there's a lot more people at the open mics.
Yeah.
So you got to hit up the right spots, because I feel like there's real people like 70% of the time.
That's true. I'm exaggerating. Yeah. There are, like, even at, Buzzmill or whatever, you're going to get some real people.
Yeah.
And so, so what would be cool is to start an open mic that is highly attended by people, because you get a reputation for being a great open mic. And that is what I think Wise Guys did and Kill Tony has done. I think Hans is doing it with his dating show. I don't see you there a ton. Have you done that?
I don't. My girlfriend says I can't go, and it's
You
being
can't
live
date other
streamed so
people
I can
while in
get
a relationship?
caught.
What bullshit.
And it's live streamed,
Yeah.
man. I can't.
For
I
all of her
can't.
friends and family to see. Well, I think that's a great format. 1 minute, say whatever, do whatever,
Mhm.
then an interview or whatever, just talking, hanging
Right.
out.
It's that's why I've been hesitant to start my own podcast. Everything that you do is very cool, but I want like kind of a different spin. I like what Kill Tony does. It's very unique. It's kind of like the Tonight Show plus America's Got Talent.
Yeah. Well, he's been doing it 10 years.
Yeah.
And so he's like, it's not an overnight success.
No.
And he's got so
It's
much
very
real
specific
momentum.
skill set, to roast people and like on the fly. It's like very specific, and he's like very good at it.
He is very good at it.
All right, let's stop jerking him off. He gets that enough.
Yeah. Let's cancel him, actually. Let's get him canceled. No, it's a great show and it's a great format. But we should get 4 more of them.
4 more.
So maybe that's something I can make a goal for 2023 is to get a show going where it's 1 minute and then an interview, basically rip off Kill Tony format and just rebrand it as my own thing and copy that.
Oh, you'll be eviscerated in Austin.
Really? Why? I feel like that's what Hans did.
No, it's a dating show though.
Well, that's all I mean. It's not like I just like the meta format of it's such low pressure for the comics.
Oh, got it.
All you got to do is a minute. I think that's part of why he gets so many signups is because it's like anybody can go on for a minute. You just stand there and look like an idiot. It'll be funny.
Yeah, a lot of people's first times are killed.
Yeah. It seems like you either get up your first time or you gotta be selected.
Yeah, and then just kind of be lucky after a certain point.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just crazy to like get outside of Austin and then hear what people say about the Austin comedy scene.
Really? What do they say?
Yeah, they're like, "Oh, it's popping, it's fun out there," but they never mention Kill Tony, even though it's like the epicenter of Austin comedy, like right now where we are.
Yeah, like there's 2 places.
Yeah, it's crazy. Because when I was in New York, I didn't know what Kill Tony was, and then I came here, and then obviously they moved here and all that stuff.
I knew it from LA.
Okay.
And so I saw my first Kill Tony at Comedy Store. And or wait, maybe that was a roast battle. Whatever it was, this was before I'd ever been on stage, and I went and I would pretend to be a comic, and I'd hang out with and stand up where the comics sit. And then somebody challenged me, and they were like, "You're not really a comic."
Ooh.
And I was like, "Yeah, I am." And they're like, "What's your best joke?" And I was like, "Fuck." And they basically challenged me to get on stage, and that will remain in my head as one of the biggest fuck ups. Is like, I should have just got on with nothing and just said anything.
Yeah.
And then I would have had that under my belt. But I wussed out. Maybe a year later, I tried for the first time in Salt Lake City.
It's so anxiety inducing the first time. And then the next 10 times you go, you're like, they're not going to pick me. And so your heartbeat is just steady the entire time. Yeah. That's the worst part. I remember I was like, just talking to some people, and I was like, "Oh yeah, I haven't gotten up yet." And then they're like, "Dude, just switch places with Hans. Like, wear some glasses, make it a gimmick." And then I just mentioned it to Hans. I was like, "Yeah." Somebody was like, "Let's switch," and then he was really like, funny. "Ha ha ha!" And then he walked away. And it's like,
oh, he didn't switch?
Yeah, this is during his make out with girls phase. So he was like, "No."
Yeah. I think I got in trouble for signing up with 2 names at his bucket once. I used to do that pretty often.
How'd you get caught?
Well, because I already went up, and then I went up again.
Oh, like, dude!
Like I didn't like just let the name not get called. I went up, and so. But yeah, I would always put in my name and then 2 or 3 aliases. Like, let's increase the chances. Yeah.
It's like you get a girl's number and then you go up on stage right after that.
Yeah. You're supposed to make your escape.
I remember it was like a couple of years ago. I was like talking to a girl, and then like we switched phones to like get numbers and all that. And I did it like really fast, and she was like, "Wow, that was really fast." And I was like, "Yeah, you gotta make sure you do that shit before the girls change their mind."
That's true. Yeah. So, what is happening in the world that matters? We got still Russia and Ukraine happening. Who gives a shit about that? Putin's like jacking off all day,
Does
threatening
that
people with
truly
nukes.
trouble you? Like, what's going on? I think about it like maybe for like half a day,
Yeah,
and then I'm
yeah.
like, I think
It's all gonna be
like
fine.
shit. I gotta go grocery shopping. Like, you live in your own little world. Like, I
Yeah.
couldn't care less about Twitter or like.
I care about Twitter because I think it's
Oh, I
interesting.
guess you're a tech guy. Yeah.
Yeah. The thing I think is like, what if I was working at Twitter and some rogue billionaire came in and was just like, I'm gonna buy it. It's like, that's my life. You're gonna just fuck with my whole life. And he's like, yeah, like that's what I want to do. So Twitter is now one of the most profitable tech companies in history.
Yeah.
Because he fired 60% of the staff.
Whoa.
And most of the expense of a tech company is the employees.
Whoa.
And so, yeah, he fired 60% of the staff.
How many people work there? Like 8,000?
A lot, yeah. Maybe somewhere around there. Sounds right.
Mm.
And so it's just some epic gangster shit. I mean, it is truly like survival of the fittest. Only the strongest will survive. That kind of, red in tooth and claw. Like, it's some vicious nature that is happening. He fired the CEO. The first thing he did was fire Parag, the CEO. But that guy kind of stole the job from Jack Dorsey. Anyway, yeah, I am in tech. I kind of have a history.
Got it. Okay.
So I think.
How would you feel if you were like on track to be like a CTO, and then you got that swept under your rug?
Well, if you were really on track, then you'll get scooped up by a big company in 2 seconds.
Okay,
and so it won't be a
that's
problem.
fair.
But I think it's more like, I just bought a $1.5 million house in San Francisco and have a $6,000 a month mortgage, and now no tech companies are hiring. Those are the people that I think are like screwed.
Got it. Okay.
But
shit, I'd be like, that's the time to start another startup.
Yeah. Comedy is a startup.
Yeah, you have to be your own business.
I'm
not the best at marketing myself, but like you have to be your own business.
Yeah, you have to market yourself for sure.
Hype man.
You need a hype man.
Yeah.
You got to be able to promote yourself. And nobody's going to promote you for you or whatever, like nobody's going to do that work for you. And it's uncomfortable to promote yourself.
Yeah, because like you have that deep insecurity. You're like, oh, I'm not good enough. So like, why should they come see me at this show? Like,
when in reality, everyone just wants live entertainment and to hear something funny. Or just like I saw Jimmy Dore the other night, and it wasn't like, it's a different kind of comedy. It's like highly political, and he gets everyone riled up. And yeah, like he brought like a really fun energy.
Left or right, or?
He's right, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ooh, interesting. In Austin.
Well, I think he has to be right. I mean, he has a YouTube show, but he was visiting. I don't know where he's from, actually. Where is he from? I don't know.
Alabama.
Yeah. But yeah, like I just did a video that is not doing well at all on gay marriage because
you're in Texas. Why?
Well, like it's just so crazy to me how like even today we're still talking about abortion and gay marriage and like immigration. And I'm like, I was 6 years old and you guys were talking about that.
Yeah.
If we're still talking about it, then it's an unsolvable problem and we should just talk about anything else.
Yeah.
Literally anything. And now I'm talking about it.
It's fun. I've been thinking about this lately. People talk about trans rights and all that. In Thailand, which is an Asian country, so a little bit less progressive, they have a lot of transsexuals over there. It's very common. Like it's been a big thing for a while, maybe like 60 years, and it's not really a big deal over there. Yeah, in Thailand, a lot of people go there to like get the thing switched.
Invert it.
Oh no, that was funny.
Turn a shaft into a hole.
No, but like over there, there's not really any problems. Obviously, I visited there like 15 years ago. They were probably like into the trend for like years, but like people don't make it a big deal. Like you'll get a massage from like a man who became a woman, and it's like whatever about it. And they don't even have like the special restrooms, like the unisex restrooms, and so it's just like blended into society.
Well, what do you think about this trans movement?
What do I fucking think?
Yeah. Tell us the truth. Like, what is it? And how's it going? I used to be a little frustrated by how hot some of these trans people were, but
I thought about it.
Yeah.
I thought about it. Yeah. I always thought in my mind, I was like, never, never. And then I
And
matched
it
with
was like,
somebody on
it's kind of
Hinge.
freaking hot.
Yeah.
Like they know what they're doing. Like it turns out being a woman is a skill or whatever.
A horny woman on the before
Yeah,
first
just
date.
like
Yeah.
a drip magnet, or what do they call that? Not a drip magnet. Anyway, whatever.
No, I was just like on Hinge, and then like you know when somebody's horny, they like keep texting back like really fast.
Yeah.
I was like, it was a very pretty girl. Then they kept texting really fast, and I was like, okay, she's too cool. She's too accommodating.
Yeah,
You know,
gotta be a
guys
guy.
will say whatever.
Yeah.
And then they're like, yeah, I'm male to female, and I was like, man, I looked at the pictures, and I was like, God damn, that's a good filter. And I thought about it. I should have gone on the date, but like, yeah, it was a mistake on my part, but like, yeah, it threw me off.
It does throw me off a little bit. Like anyone can be anything. You can go be an alien if you want to. I don't give a shit. I don't particularly would want to date a trans person. And a lot of people say that that's bad. But I
Yeah,
just think it's weird. I don't know. I think it's
right.
weird. And also like it is the thing that is so crazy about it is like it's so dramatic.
hmm
Like you
Even though
can
they're like
cross dress.
0.01% of the population, it's not that many of them.
Yeah.
Feels like
there
there's
isn't.
more, but it's like shoot, 1 in every 100,000. It's not that
And it's a big part of history. It's always existed. So is homosexuality and
many.
queerness or whatever all that stuff is. It's
Yeah.
always been part of history. So it's very natural.
hmm
But there's still something about it that I wouldn't necessarily be into. And I'm just wondering, maybe that's my own bias, or maybe I don't know what it is. Actually,
Right. It's I'm curious to see how much of it is like a genuine desire to like switch genders and how much of it is like a fad because you hear about a lot of these Hollywood kids, like children of celebs, like getting
yes.
testosterone at age like 7. Like shit, I'll do anything to be cool. It's just to get pussy. Like fuck, if I gotta make my own pussy to get pussy, like yeah, I would do that.
Dude, totally. Have you heard of this idea of like social contagion? I mean, it's
Like
basically just a
fads.
meme.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, like a meme is a social contagion, I guess. I don't even know if that's a real word. But
Sounds smart.
well, it does sound smart. But like one of the things that could be happening with this trans movement is you get somebody like Elliot Page or
Mhm.
whatever, whoever that used to be. What was her name? The girl
I
from
have
Juno?
no idea.
I saw Juno. She was
Juno?
cute. Yeah.
You thought she was cute?
I don't even barely remember.
I don't know. She looked 40 at age 20.
Yeah, some people are like that.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of hot for some people, I guess.
But yeah, like how many people does that influence to do the same thing? I don't know. Like, is it on the rise because it's actually just naturally being expressed and it was always part of the species? Or is it kind of in vogue? You know, like it's in the zeitgeist.
Right. I guess like a more tangible like case to look at in relation like the whole trans thing is like the fingernails thing. That kind of falls in line in the same category. You see like a lot of people, I don't even know where I'm going with this, but yeah, it's become a fad as well. Like you see a lot of celebs
Oh,
doing it.
painting their fingernails.
Yeah,
Yeah, a lot of people are.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess everyone's just getting weird with it, which is
I
good.
guess, yeah.
Yeah, let's just get funky
Just hurts.
fresh.
It hurts a lot of comedy too, because people like men and women so different, and now you gotta, I gotta
Not
add
anymore,
in this
yeah.
factor. Like, shit.
Oh, that's a good opportunity, actually. Yeah, like we used to be different, but these days we're all morphing into the same. What?
Yeah,
Mutants? Are we becoming mutants?
I didn't think you'd have such a hot take on trans people. I thought you'd
I don't
be
know.
like,
I don't know. What my take is. I'm still trying to figure out what my take
mutants, let's
is.
call it,
Yeah, there are some
Um,
mutants in the world. That's for fucking sure.
people with gauge earrings, like
Yeah. Self-made mutants. Have you seen any of those transhumanists? They like
what do you
put
mean a
magnets in their skin.
transhumanist?
They think that they're living in the next world. Basically, they like embed magnets and stuff in their skin and think that they get extra senses from that. Like Ray Kurzweil, the singularity is near. You heard of any of those ideas? Basically, artificial general intelligence is gonna take over the world, and people are gonna transcend to be like morphed into machines or something. And some people are trying to make that happen faster by like embedding chips and
Shit,
stuff
I'm
in their
glad I'll be
skin.
dead before all that
It's all
happens.
just bullshit. I feel like it's all bullshit.
Dude.
Yeah.
Um,
I think artificial general intelligence is either a fantasy or it's going to be here in like 5 years. Like either it never happens or it happens like
a lot of
immediately.
people are saying it's a little bit too late to where like it's already too sophisticated. And I try to watch some videos about this, and I'm still trying to wrap my mind around it. Like the idea that AI can learn on its own, but like, isn't it like a computer at the end of the day? Can't you just unplug it? Like, you don't have any robots like from iRobot. Like, we don't have to Will Smith and like fight anything. Like,
Not yet.
I don't know, man. Like,
What
how
about
can
the
your
Tesla
blender try
bots?
to kill you?
Those
Tesla
look,
bots?
yeah, those look. Have you not seen those?
No, I haven't.
Dude, I gotta show
Jamie,
this.
pull it up.
Jamie, where's Jamie?
Nico.
Yeah, Miko be my Jamie. These Tesla bots look exactly like the iRobot, and
Oh, yeah?
Elon Musk is trying to build them.
Perfect. A mechanized slave.
Yeah, look at that.
Oh, Jesus. Why is it black on top and then like white on the bottom? It's a little bit racist.
Yeah, what is going on?
How are we on time?
We're
10
about
minutes
45
left?
minutes in.
Okay.
And so, yeah, like that thing looks like it could take over the world, And he's making them so they can only walk like 4 miles an hour and only lift like 20 pounds. Like until they figure out how to run 1,000,000 miles an hour and lift 1,000,000,000 pounds.
There's a safety feature.
Yeah, like until they figure out how to like bypass it, and they're like, oh, if I just like put this plasma here, I can increase the strength by 400%. Anyway, it's hard to tell how much of it is like total bullshit.
Oh God.
All right, more bullshit topics. Are there aliens? Are aliens real?
I hope so. That would spice things up.
That would spice things up.
Yeah.
It'd be a spicy world. What do you think of all these sightings? Full disclosure.
Oh, there's been more sightings?
Dude, there's always sightings. There's been sightings forever. And they're always from like the same guy. It's like some 50-year-old dude who just farms corn. He has nothing happening in his life except for the fact that aliens want to probe him.
Aren't those... I feel like those guys are the ones most likely to catch him. Because if you're out in the middle of nowhere, like in Kansas, like on a corn farm...
Yeah, you'd think you'd catch him.
I mean, there's not that much to look at. Like if you're in Manhattan, in Times Square, there's a lot of shit to look at. How do you catch a ghost?
Oh, I see what you're saying. They're seeing him because they got nothing else to do.
Yeah.
Maybe. You'd also think that they'd be the ones to actually catch an alien. Like they'd get like a shotgun, like going out there hunting the UFOs. Anyway, I don't know.
They call them Mexicans.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
It's just Mexicans dressing up as aliens. Yeah, I don't know.
My in Austin, my family goes to a temple, and I've always been like, I think it's got to be real. Yeah, Buddhist temple, and then there was like almost like a cloudy figure of like a prophet. Like I've seen statues of him everywhere, and that had like the same headdress, and it was like they caught it right on. I wish I could like show like everybody I meet this picture, and it's like. This is like during a time like before Photoshop was like a thing, so like it just felt so real, And that picture has like made the temple kind of famous amongst everybody.
In Austin?
Yeah.
What's it called?
I have no idea.
Huh.
That's how legit it is. I have no idea what the name is. It's like something in Vietnamese.
Can I tell you my biggest problem with reincarnation that I didn't even realize until I talked to Bernard? We were talking about it.
What do you say?
What is the point of reincarnation if you can't remember anything? Like the only reason to be reincarnated is if you have some memory of your past life.
Yeah. Okay.
Otherwise, it's just the same as us.
Isn't that why you take shrooms so that you can open the third eye?
Yeah, but how much do you even get?
You know, Bernard. You can open up a fourth eye.
Yeah. Anyway, the only reason I would ever want to be reincarnated is if I can actually remember my past life. But maybe once you get to nirvana, you remember all your past lives at once.
They do say that, yes. But
wait,
what
really?
if your previous life was so good, and then you live this life, and you just know it's worse? Wouldn't that mess you up?
Maybe, yeah. But I feel like everything is pretty happy just to be alive.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't know. I guess so suicide is on the rise, and it's been on the rise for like 10 years now.
Uh-huh.
And it's just such a crazy idea to me. I kind of understand feeling stuck in life, and I kind of understand feeling embarrassed and like, oh, I'll never live this down, or I'll never get out of this situation, or I'll never be able to fix this, or whatever, blah, 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 blah. But at the end of the day, you're gonna die like pretty soon.
Yeah.
The Earth is 4.5 billion years old, and this is a great metaphor I heard. I think it was from Bill Bryson, A Short History of Nearly Everything, that if you wanted to create a timeline of the entire human history and you spread your arms across to represent the whole human history, modern humans would be the entire timeline from like Jesus Christ to now would be shaved off in a single stroke of a nail file of your fingertip. And that's like the last 2,000 years are like a single stroke of just that dust. And so like humans have existed for nothing, and society just barely started yesterday, and you're gonna die tomorrow. So just enjoy it. Like, instead of suiciding yourself, just go live in Peru. Go to Peru.
Yeah. Do some ayahuasca out there. Yeah, speaking of like dust, like what is it, like 98% of the like chemicals and compounds in our body, it's the same as the stars. Like we're nitrogen, we are the universe is us. It's like very metaphorically beautiful.
It is actually that stars die and get recycled, and that we're like everything has a lifespan,
even though we might have been a star. It's funny that you mentioned like offing yourself. I've had thoughts like that here and there, but like I went on a camping trip out to like Utah and like stuff like that around your neighborhood, your ballpark. And like those thoughts kind of go
right?
away.
Or months. You went backpacking
like 4 months. Awesome. Yeah, and like all those thoughts go away. Like when you're removed from everything, like I guess like just like society in general, you kind of create like your own little world in itself, and then you're like, I'm the center of the world, I can do this and all that, and it's good.
Think of just like how like a badger or a beaver or a raccoon, I don't know why I'm talking about like rodents or whatever, that class of animal, but like they are the center of their world. And like all they do, like I love watching my dog just go through his day, because he only wants good things 100% of the time. So do you listen to Huberman Lab podcast?
I just I saw he was on Schultz's podcast, so I listened to it.
Yeah. So he talks about like one of the best things you can do for yourself in the world is to wake up and get sunlight in your eyes first thing in the morning. I did that
while I was waiting for you. I've been doing that the last 4 days.
My dog does that every single morning. I'm in bed sleeping in like an idiot until 10 a.m. scrolling on my phone, jacking off to Pornhub, whatever. My dog is staring at the sunlight, just waiting to go outside. And he's just so healthy. It's crazy.
If you think about it,
there's something natural.
Dogs have like a lifestyle that humans used to have. You just wake up, like food, water, shelter. And it's all about just, I guess, I feel like to be happy, you have to be like sad or like bored. And so I feel like that's honestly like 65% of a dog's life. They just want to go on a walk and then eat and then hang out with people. But they can't do that all the time because owners have shit to do. And so I think dogs can like truly be happy because like when they hang out with you, they're having the time of their life. I saw your dog like running around, looks so happy. And I think like the constraint like provides the happiness for them. Like your dog being upstairs is like, fuck, this sucks. But then dogs like don't have like the best memory, so it's like very short-term memory, and it's like they forget that they've been sitting in a room for like 8 hours.
So that's how you're supposed to think of open mics and any of the hard parts of comedy. This is the thing that it's not even hard. First of all, anytime you're holding a mic on stage, how hard is your life really? It's like, that's a pretty good life. Whatever you're doing is not that crazy.
Right. But once you get dragged into that world, your perspective and your ability to zoom out, it just like diminishes, because that becomes your world, right? And then you kind of like get trapped in that like social ladder situation, and then right.
And you're climbing the ladder and like trying to be like, it's hard to get out of the rat race and the comparison game. And,
right.
keeping up with the Johnsons.
That's why it's good to like go out into the woods because all that dissipates and you're like, what the fuck is a social
4
hierarchy?
months is so long to like be backpacking.
It's good.
It's pretty impressive. So how did you even get food and water during that time? You just go to the
store?
I
would have a car. I lived out of a truck for a while. But yeah, you just go to a grocery store.
Yeah.
You can get by on like maybe $300-400 a month, including gas and all that.
Yeah.
If you just go camping.
Yeah, that would be something. That's pretty cool. So you went to Utah,
California,
else?
Colorado, best state by far, man.
Colorado?
Yeah, for sure.
What parts?
Like where was I? Great Sands. That was, I forget exactly where it was, but it was like maybe an hour south of Colorado Springs.
Okay.
And then,
is that near Pueblo?
Durango? Huh?
Pueblo?
Maybe. I know it was like, it might have been like San Juan. It was like a Mexican sounding name.
Okay.
Like Alameda, something like that.
I lived for 2 years in Colorado Springs.
Dude, it's so fucking cool, man.
Yeah.
It's so cool.
The nature is incredible.
Yeah.
Springs isn't, I would have rather lived in Denver, but yeah.
This is how people imagine America.
Yeah.
Just like,
right.
So nice.
Well, it is like, what is that song that was written about Colorado? It's like a patriotic, Purple Mountain Majesty. Wait, is that the national anthem? Anyway, there's a patriotic song about the Colorado mountains. And I think there's a line, Purple Mountain Majesty, that is related to Pikes Peak in Colorado Springs. So what inspired you to go for 4 months and just be outside?
Pandemic. We were like, 4 months in? This happened like, God, over 2 years ago now.
That's not that long ago. Like, were you doing comedy or like?
I was like, like 9 months into comedy, and then COVID hit, and then I was just like, let's go to the woods. I just had to get out because the thoughts were noodling in my head, and I was like, fuck it, I'm young.
You don't do a ton of drugs or anything, right? Like,
I have like a couple beers a month. I'll do shrooms or like acid every now and then.
Okay.
Yeah.
And were you doing any of that or?
No. Like, I think like for my version of happy, that's just like what acid feels like, but organically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you can get there organically.
Yeah. Happiness is, like acid is just like happiness on paper.
Yeah. I've tried acid once. Somebody gave it to me at Vulcan. What was his name?
Oh yeah, you told me about this last time.
Did I? Really?
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah.
It was pretty good.
What is it? There's like this story about like, I think like this Buddhist monk out in India, and there are these like researchers from California who were like experimenting with LSD. They were trying to learn about Buddhism, and then they gave this enlightened monk LSD, and he took a tab. He didn't feel it, so he took like 5 tabs. He didn't feel it. Said he took like 10 tabs. He didn't feel shit. I'm sure it's like more metaphorical than like literal, but like he was just so enlightened that he took the happy paper and he like didn't feel any different.
That'd be epic if it's true, but I feel like you'd get wrecked after 10 tabs.
Yeah, I probably
just be on the floor like sobbing in a fetal position, or you'd be like stretched out, like becoming one with God. You'd be one of those two.
Yeah. I remember I tripped so hard. I was just like playing with like grass so much, and then I kind of zoomed out and I was like, "Oh, this is geese shit. This is just grass. Geese shit is just grass." And I was like just screaming it, and I was like, "It's just grass.
It's just grass." Mushrooms are pretty good.
Love them,
but I always feel like I have to pay a price to get to the good part. Because I usually
it's not amazing the whole
nauseous.
time.
No, I always get nauseous every single time.
Oh, that's like the euphoria though. Like I don't know, that just feels like gratitude in your stomach to me. Like you feel nauseous, but it's like it's good.
It does get good. It does get good. So what do you think other comics think of Austin? We were kind of talking about that a little bit.
Big jump from shrooms to comedy.
Yeah,
although not that big of a jump if you think about it.
That's kind of true. Shroom Fest.
Say that again. What do comics think about Austin?
Yeah, like what is the comedy
outside of Austin?
Yeah, because I feel like comedy has a few splinter cells. Like you have like Let's Go comedy pre-Rogan. What does it even look like? You know, like that's like Seinfeld and I don't know, like who are the big players? Like
Seinfeld, he was big like 30 years ago.
Yeah. Kevin Hart, I guess.
Yeah.
Like who was big before Rogan? Because I feel like he's created his
Uh-huh.
own splinter of comedy.
True, that's a good way to put it. I guess Dave Chappelle,
Yep.
Patrice O'Neill, Doug Stanhope, Dave Attell, who've kind of created their own little styles.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm.
But I wonder what like the different, because it seemed like there was a little bit of a rivalry between LA comics and Austin comics, and it was like no chance. LA comics, no chance you're going to be Austin comics, no chance. Like the only thing LA has is the Comedy Store. That's the only thing they have. Like what else do they have? The Laugh Factory. That's not a hang. The Ice Store. I've actually never been there, but
they have the Improv. They have all the Tonight shows.
Okay, I'm talking shit. I don't actually know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I didn't get to kill Tony in LA, little bitch.
Yeah. I used to go to the Comedy Store.
No, but I feel like Austin is the new LA.
Yeah, as far as
Rogan is here, he's kind of like the heartbeat of Austin. For whatever it is, yeah.
Well, we got Elon Musk, we got Rogan, we got a bunch of people, but I bet it inspires a little bit.
We got Caleb Ogden.
Hell yeah, let's fucking go. We got Chris Tan, devoutly. Plug the Instagram. Devoutly Christian. But yeah, I feel like there's got to be like an attitude like New York is like where comedy really is, or LA or Chicago. But if it isn't Austin today, then it will be in 5 years. It's going to be wherever the best people are, and whoever has the loudest mic.
But the best people would be in New York. I think I still truly believe that. Whether or not
I could believe that, because New York has such a romantic idea to it. Like it's like the world's best city. Is it the world's best city? I think it might be.
It depends who you talk to.
Yeah.
It's definitely a playground for adults, but like it's like
it's so
you need time to warm
much
up to it.
Energy, like just walking down the street and like being surrounded. That was one thing I got from I don't know, it kind of reminds me of Tokyo actually. Like Tokyo is like 4x the density of New York. Yeah, so Tokyo might actually be the best city.
And it's also funnier because the people are smaller.
They can fit in more. Man, I would love to spend like 6 months there. That'd be really fun.
It'd be so cool. And plus, they're like more open-minded in terms of like art. They have a stronger appreciation for art. So like live performance, I think they would really enjoy.
I think they'd enjoy stand-up and yeah.
It's got a
very American culture.
My dad was like a refugee, so he grew up like not being able to say certain things about the government. And so his biggest fear, like every time I go out, he's like, don't talk shit about politicians.
That's funny. I mean, what's your ethnicity then? Is it Japanese or
born in Cambodia, but we're Chinese.
Chinese, okay. Yeah. Because there was like Japanese, a lot of Japanese racism. Like obviously after World War II, I guess.
Oh yeah.
But he would have been too young for any of that.
Oh no, he was like far away from all that.
No. But yeah, I feel like Austin comedy is, if it's not already at the top, it's rising. I could see New York. I could see LA.
Jeez, I have so much dandruff. If this video doesn't get any views, it's because of this shirt. Oh my gosh.
It's only going to help.
I should have used Head and Shoulders more this morning.
That's going to be all the comments.
My goodness. I apologize.
Hey, it's driving engagement.
Let's see. People are starting to compare New York to Austin a little bit on like a very small level, but I think when you look at it and like how to get better, there's different ways. Because Austin, you get like better stage time, but the comics in New York are funnier. Even though there's people still like exaggerate the quality of New York comics. Like there's a lot of funny people, and then there's a lot of more so like non-funny people. And so
in Austin?
No, I'm talking about New York.
Oh, okay. Many
non-funny, but also many funny people in New York.
Whereas Austin has a ton of people just starting out.
Yeah, you're very right. Yeah, that's something that a lot of people don't talk about. A lot of people like within 2 to 3 years, myself included.
Yeah, so the talent pool is like really diluted with beginners.
Yeah, I'd say so. Like maybe like 65%.
Yeah.
I would say in the first 3 years.
Well, it's one of the last places where you can just speak your mind and say shit. And that's, I think, has a lot of appeal to people.
No, don't count everything else out. I think since COVID though, like since everybody's been locked up, and then like all this shit about like not shit, but like all this being like politically correct, BLM, like Asian hate and all that stuff. People become too PC and then they realize
way
it.
too PC. Yeah.
Yeah, and so that's why I think comedy is booming right now, where you can just talk shit about everything and make a joke. That's why it's booming, because people are tired of being PC. Like you have to like become a robot and like use these codes, you know?
It's exhausting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, luckily we don't have to do that. We can sling dank memes and filthy jokes all day long. What else do we have for Chris Tan on this episode? You got any cool shows coming up? You still doing your Mueller mic?
Yeah, my Mueller show. Yeah, it's this Friday, but I think this episode comes out Monday. I'll be doing 2 shows, December
you're going to Paris. We should talk
and
about that
30th.
real quick.
Yeah, sure.
What, like a vacation, or just you gonna try doing comedy out there?
Forced. I'll do some shows.
Yeah,
I have a couple lined up.
How did you line up shows in Paris?
Oh, you just DM a bunch of people. It's not any different from like America. You just send them a tape.
I know how to do it in America.
Yeah. No, you just send them a tape, and then you just be like, "Hey, I've heard good things about the show. I really haven't." And yeah, you just the response rate's higher because there's like not as many comics. So it's like 60% respond to you.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So you just like literally Googled where you're going to be staying.
Eventbrite. Go look up some shows on Eventbrite.
That's cool.
And that helps a lot. And then
But you don't speak French.
No, there's a lot of American comedy shows.
Yeah.
I'd say like it's probably an even split.
I bet they'll love it. And then so you're going to Paris next year or at the end of this year?
Tuesday.
On Tuesday. Oh, yeah, cool.
So the day after this comes out.
And that's going to be pretty cool. What else is coming up that's fun or exciting in your world?
Let's see.
Where do you want to be in comedy in 2 years?
Oh, in 2 years? Probably go to New York and smash it as much as I can. Right now, the immediate goal is just to get as funny as possible, build like a strong 15, and then make it look like you're a winner on social media. So like just some funny clips, and then just making it seem like you're a legit comic, and then moving to New York. I don't think it makes you rise to the top fast, but like when you have a strong foundation, people are more likely to invest time in you because they see like this guy has like substance.
Right. You have to have that, and you also have to have your own distribution these days. Like people aren't going to have patience for people who can't promote their own stuff.
Yeah, you have to be self-sufficient. You have to be a machine.
Yeah.
Yeah, because nothing's really given to you.
Nothing's given to you. It shouldn't be given to you because it's such a prize. Like, who doesn't want to do this kind of shit? Who doesn't want to just sit down in the middle of an afternoon? Like, it's 1 p.m. Everyone is working. Mm-hmm. You know, it's a Tuesday at 1 p.m. Everyone has jobs that they hate. They're doing... I would rather live for real in the woods and do this than...
I thought about trying to do that.
Well,
it's fucking hard.
Tech jobs are pretty fun. Tech jobs are pretty fun.
It's hard to do a podcast on a mountain. Dude, you got to lug all this gear.
That's true. But yeah, like the point is we get to try to be creative and express ourselves. Mm-hmm. And in theory, if we stick with it over the course of years, there's an opportunity that we could be totally sustainable life where the only pressures and concerns are, am I actually funny? Are these really good ideas? Like, is this related, or like, are people vibing with this or whatever? Mm-hmm. And that's pretty cool.
What you just mentioned is like very like future focused, like very growth focused. Yeah. Like I feel like coming from like a family of immigrants, they're very growth focused too. Just the idea of coming here and then making it, but then they come to America, and I think this is where like the mindset is like very diluted. The American dream, like go big or go home, right? Hmm. But then, like, once a lot of people come to America and they stay for a while, it's, like, very stagnated to where, like, they're, like, very risk averse. They're scared to, like, make a big leap. And so I think that it's not just, like, towards immigrants, just people who've been here for a while. That's why there's so many people who work at, like, American Express and, like, insurance companies just because they're, like, scared to take a leap. And myself included, there's obviously something more that you can do and, like, really, like, relinquish yourself from the system, you know?
Well, you can't be that scared if you're getting... The most terrifying thing is getting on stage in front of other people.
They say that it's like the biggest fear, but fuck,
Until
dude,
you
I don't
do it,
want to
like,
dance
20
with the
times.
tarantula cave like that.
That's
Way
true.
scary.
Yeah, go eat a tarantula. Like, what would you rather do?
No, I don't want to eat a tarantula.
Yeah.
I'd rather eat a tarantula, but like,
Then go on stage. Oh, I would rather go on stage. than
fry
eat a
it.
tarantula.
Fry it.
That sounds like, oh, yeah. Spiders. All spiders have to die. That's my policy. But yeah, man, this has been a great talk.
Oh yeah, great way to end the podcast. Eating a tarantula.
Eating a tarantula. I just always like ending our podcast on awkward moments, but we'll keep talking. Like, so you got your Mueller mic, you got your showcase. Devoutly Christian is where people can find you on Instagram. Chris Tan. And then anything else out there?
Just do some acid.
Just do some acid.
And then, go on a mountain.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, do acid and go on a mountain.
Change the world.
You heard it here from Chris Tan.
Buy a Snuggie.
Buy a Snuggie. Wise words. All right, man. Thanks for coming on.
Me.
Okay.